I have also with me here as a guest is Mr. Waldo. We are laughing today. Normally, it's not a day to laugh. It's a day to look back and feel sad. As I said earlier today in the meeting with the representative and Kevin and them, I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of Trail of Tears. I had years ago did a show, and I can describe it best as this. I did a show a while back, way while back. A lot of people may see it out there. Where I have the yellow on, and I was invited to speak in New Orleans on Christopher Columbus Day. I said then what I feel now. I was telling Mr. Waldo, we were just saying this here is a category 5 or higher that have never left. Christopher Columbus. Never been here, just like John Slidell have never been here. Um, we just came through some serious storms in this Gulf Coast. Some tore up a state or some tore up 6 states. This category 5 is tearing up all the states, the whole United States. But this Christopher Columbus Day, leading up to it, there were so many things that happened far as what's happening in elections. The question of nationality and gender and race is a major issue this year. I have not witnessed that much question by the media nor political on blackness. I did another show that I talked about what kind of black are you. I have lived to see both of those things move to a political agenda. We're trying to figure out who our presidents of the past and present is, black and white. What was their nationality and what was their interest? We fail to realize what Christopher Columbus did. He was a person came from another country and claimed another country. That's still going on. Discoveries. We tired of being discovered over and over because each discovery is nothing but, is not another tornado, hurricane, it's tornadoes hitting within the side. And y'all notice with the storms we just had on the Gulf Coast, the tornadoes that spin off from the hurricanes do more damage sometimes than the hurricane. So what could these tornadoes be? Well, Mr. Waldo, I'm glad to sit here on Christopher Columbus Day and say tornadoes is some of these made up tribes that we've been asking where these people come from. What's their nationality? They don't look like us. They don't have the same traditions and culture as us. Those are tornadoes that spins off of this hurricane, category 5 that won't leave. I had people came here, tornadoes. We had one of the tornadoes on my show, Tom Aiken. We talked about last year, how did we get this here Summer of Love? And Summer of Love brought us into a topic that we talked about how the entertainers became the people. This election, we're hearing people now on YouTube angry because the elected officials, the politicians, the news media, they speaking for the people and they are the people. We have had one president that they said was African American, which that is a proper definition for him, Mr. Waldo. And now we have an Indian that you can change her to be whatever color or nationality. People get mad when you say it, but it came out of her mouth, Mr. Waldo, so that's another tornado. Um,
Well, yeah, you're right too.
to come to this point of all these hurricanes and tornadoes of history, genealogy, and culture, it's just as destructive as the physical hurricane. You know, it's some things you can never fix back once that hurricane come through. Once that tornado come through, it tears stuff up that cannot be fixed. You got to patch yourself up the best way you can.
I think it's worse, just to be honest.
I do too. So
I,
we've been struck with that kind of disaster and we trying to recover. 500 years or more ago, we got hit by a hurricane from another country. The tornadoes that spinned off from it is still here. What was these countries? Spain, France, Britain. We can't leave out the Dutch. We can't leave out the Germans. Everybody then had a spin-off. So what did they want? The treasures. They wanted the treasures. They stripped the treasures. They tried to destroy all of our people. They altered history. Just like it took a long time for people to find out Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. Never set foot on it. So today, I was in a meeting. This has been one of many meetings we have had in the last 2 months, or should I say 3 months. That to me is the first time we come in within these tornadoes and this hurricane and doing an assessment. Is that a good way to put it, Mr. Waldo? An assessment is being done.
Yep, I think so. Yeah, because we got to figure out where the damage is before we can even start to fix it.
So we in the assessment zone.
Hey, it ain't no FEMA.
No, it's no FEMA for us. It was never a FEMA for us. It was never a Red Cross. It was never a Salvation Army because we were our own people that took care of our own needs like we doing now. I'm proud though, Mr. Waldo, to sit here with you in Oklahoma and I'm here in Bonfaka and I'm saying this park now will no longer bear the name of Salmon after next month. That is part of fixing something that the storms and tornadoes tore up. So I'm sitting here in the ruins doing an assessment. And to say it's Columbus Day and he was one of the storms, today is a perfect day to do this assessment. So I'm proud to say that as of the 7th of next month, this will be Bonfaka Nature Park. Or should I say historic Bonfaka Nature Park. The trace is going to become Bonfaka, historic Bonfaka, Trace Head. With the city of Slidell, we have things coming up there, and Trace name is going to be changed on the Slidell part. Well, not changed, but it's going into the new last part of the phase, and it will be named after the Shatta and the Shafunkta Nation. I've met with my senator and state representative, the mayor, the parish council chair, and we all are working from our standpoint to get the proper history for the people. I'm proud that they all have teamed up with us. I do have some professors we're going to bring on board, not to do my research, because I have my stuff, but to verify what I'm saying. You getting what I'm saying, Mr. Waldo?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's like the assessment I've been doing need to be reassessed, and then it need to be tabulated. And I'm not here because we asking for reparation. Reparation to me is like Esau for the Indian tribe. I'm not speaking for other groups. But for us, it'll be like Esau, Mr. Waldo. It'll be selling up our birthright. And that's not what we Indians want. We want what you get when a storm hit. Restoration, preservation, and protection. And to be able to say that we are working on this as we speak with our government, on a government to government relationship. We are not for us to be restored under Article 14 because my grandfather signed the treaty, but to restore the knowledge to the other people who we are. It's a great day. I'm going to make y'all laugh, though. I told y'all earlier, I got suspended out of school because I wrote about what Christopher Columbus was. I got 3 days out of school and I went hunting and fishing with Grandpa. Grandpa told me don't worry about it. So I learned something on them 3 days that they suspended me. But I still say, and I'll say it now, first, he never came here and he discovered on this land murder, hmm robbery, rape, and stealing. Now, he didn't directly do it. It was done indirectly by the people that was with him from the islands. His brother's people did that. Y'all with where I'm at?
Mm-hmm.
Because they never talk about Christopher Columbus' brother. That's who actually came to these parts. But I always remember reading the letter that he wrote to Isabella. He wrote the letter to Isabella and he said these was the most nicest people he had ever met. Most beautiful people he ever met. He said, I have found God's people. We was peaceful people. You know, right now there's a question, what kind of black are you? Like I said, I did with the show. And people starting to find out that we got all kind of blacks in here. My question is, what kind of native are you? Y'all getting what I'm saying? And foundational black have a right to say, what kind of black are you? Because the other blacks are benefiting on what should be foundational blacks stuff. You understand, Mr. Waldo? And have taken advantage for 60-some years of the Civil Rights Bill and the Voting Rights Bill. We have not had a foundational black president.
Ain't even had a foundational black candidate until West tried to run.
And he was pushed out the race
By who?
by the Democrats for no primary.
That's where the rubber meets the road at. You got to look at who pushed him out.
No primary. Um,
No chance.
so I accept foundational black as a good definition. Okay?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that either.
That's a good definition because they're not taking my spot and I'm not taking theirs. Now, I'm an aboriginal of this land. I'm indigenous to this land.
That's it. Indigenous to the spot.
So the question is Native American, Aboriginal, or indigenous? The question is, where did all these tribes come from? The question is, how did we come up with Native Americans? Which when I do my research, Native American come under the Naturalization Act. After the Naturalization Act, anyone that was here already became naturalized. Anything came afterwards were immigrants. So I'm not an immigrant, I'm not a slave. But the people who came in as immigrants, Mr. Waldo, found some kind of way to make us lesser than. Now I'm going to jump to the present. I said this and I'm going to say it again and I'll say it over and over. I never could understand how a black man finally, because Jesse Jackson ran, he got the majority of the popularity vote, but he still didn't make it to be the president because the Electoral College determined who's going to be the president. So when President Obama ran, we as people of color, now I'm talking about a whole nother situation. People of color now eliminates you from being black and Native American. It puts you in a non-white situation. Y'all with me?
All by yourself.
And I tried to figure how a non-white man became president. And we voted for him because we thought, hey, if we get this non-white person, he say you're African American, maybe we'll see some changes and people would investigate what happened to the people of color. And some of the bills that was passed, voting right bill, he signed the voting right bill because none of the white presidents wanted to sign it. And that didn't happen. It didn't happen by Democrat whites. It didn't happen by Democrat black. And it makes me wonder, where do you get representation? How do you get representation? How did this black man win? He said he was black. It wasn't until after the lighting of the White House into the rainbow colors I start really thinking. He did not run to represent us, he ran to represent them. And it didn't take me long to realize and see him making laws to protect them. And what laws he didn't finish getting in, the next administration of Democrats did, which was then the Biden and Kamala uh, term. They then start making it a hate crime to even question. But I, back up a little bit, I left and went independent when Obama did that because it was against my religious belief. But he was able, as a man, to override the Bible and create his law over God's law. I found that to be very scary, and the Bible say, "Come out from among those you unequally yoked with." Right, Mr. Waldo? So I wasn't yoked to that, so I came out from amidst it. As a civil rights leader, I fought to have my rights to vote for who I want to vote for without being intimidated. And I'm not going to allow anybody, any party, any race to tell me who to support. So here on Christopher Columbus Day, I'm here to say this. I'm going to vote for who I want to vote for. I'm going to vote for who's going to support my agenda. I don't hear neither candidate talking about these disasters that we went through, just like I don't hear too many of them talking too much about the disasters the other states, 6 states went through just the other day. And soon something else come up, the disaster go on another page, and what's going on now take the front thing. So what we're doing is fighting for ourselves, for recovery. I fought for relief. I don't have to do a reentry. I just need recovery. And I'm honored to have elected officials in the state of Louisiana that I could sit here on Christopher Columbus Day and say I am proud to have leaders that is none-colored, standing for the truth. And what our plan is, and why it's an honor to sit here, Mr. Waldo, with you there, they was talking about the other day, turn the page. Well, we turning the page in our history. I'm not turning no page for you, but we are turning the page.
That was good one there, boy.
And in turning the page, I'm turning the chapters after each page. We're going to expose the wrongdoings. We're going to use records in Washington, D.C. to be the receipts. So we have receipts. Just like Candace Owens and all of them is going through the receipts of the candidate, we're going to go through the receipts of these conquerors. We're going to go through the receipts of where did Christopher Columbus go. We're going to go to the receipts of his behind being lost. Now, coincident, America find ways to confuse issues. So we got to know what kind of Indian you are now too, Mr. Waldo. Are you an American Indian or Indian from India? Because nobody's saying India. They just saying Indian. So they created names that they can move through time and be who they want to be. When I was coming up, brown people were colored people.
Thank you.
Basically, who they call black and Negro. So we got some brown people getting what belonged to the people who suffered through Jim Crow. And foundational black movements need to be looking into that. We are looking into what happened to the Indian community. The show I'm going to do tonight is going to dig into some of this where the Indian community don't know who they are and how they can have state recognitions without having facts and receipts. Then it comes to politics. So why I'm keep bringing politics in, politics changes you from who you are to who they want you to be. Because now I'm not a woman, I'm a birth giver. I'm anything but a woman. When they ask black women in leadership, like on the Supreme Court, and she's supposed to be highly educated, and they say, "Tell what is a woman?" And this lady sit there and say, "Oh, I don't know what a woman is. I can't define what a woman is. I'm not a biologist." Well, you don't need to be in Supreme Court. But she got appointed there by this administration. My grandson is not a woman, and he can tell you what a woman and a man is at 7. My granddaughter's 11, she can tell you. We have another storm. You know how the storm came behind the storm? Did just about as much damage to some places. Well, this is what it is now because a woman cannot fight to say she a woman. I heard on one thing where they're asking to remove the lyrics. Me and Naima was talking about this the other day again. From the song, 2 songs I know for sure. I read the song Real Woman, Natural Woman. They don't want that there. James Brown's song, This Is a Man's World. They don't want that there. So we know now politics can change anything that was natural. It's either it's time we rethink who we voting into office, because they could be erasing history more than preserving history. They could be erasing us as a people more than help preserve and take care of us. And you know, my thing is, we're going to have to take, and I'm not quoting Trump, this is my saying it before Trump was even a politician. We got to take our country back. Not by color, not by party. But the place that America, that when they stole it from us, Mr. Waldo, that they put into their Constitution, and the Democrat Party, who was protectors of the Constitution throughout my whole time, registering thousands and thousands of people to be a Democrat. I find them messing with the Constitution of the United States too much. I just had to fight during the summer because these same groups that say they men, women, they, them, die, de, it, and everything else, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they don't want prayer in the meetings. They don't want prayer in school. They don't want to hear the 10 Commandments. I even had Christians say, I don't think the 10 Commandments should be in the school. Okay, check yourself. If the 10 Commandments in the school and the prayers in the school, because you bring politicians in the pulpit of the church. Am I right, Mr. Waldo? Politicians come campaign in the black communities. But I don't see politicians taking over white churches like they do to the black community. So,
I didn't think they were supposed to let them churches come in. I mean, them politicians come into the church house like that.
they don't only come in, they go in pulpit.
Yeah, I didn't think that was possible. That should put their 5013 in jeopardy.
Well, they can do what they want in the black community.
Obviously.
So, here I sit. Today, I don't buy you bone for car. By the way, the white man changed that to Bayou Liberty. But the old records say Bayou Bonfaka. Now, that's not going to make me ignorant because I know this Bayou Bonfaka. What is going to make ignorant is the newcomers going to be calling it Bayou Liberty. Dumbing down their own children, trying to block us. Where there's an old saying, the truth will set you free. So that means a lie keep you in bondage. So, Mr. Waldo, I've been passing packets out again today with the truth in it, documented by legal governments as a point of getting other people to assess the damage. And we have to assess the damage that we are allowing people to continue doing politically. We would not be in this mess if it wasn't for politics, okay, Mr. Waldo? I don't
Go
care
ahead.
which country. All the battles that was fought here was first fought in their country. The French, the Spanish, the British, and they brought that junk to our land.
Mm. And trick some of us into fighting with them.
In their family fights.
Mm.
Just like the Palestinian fight and the Jewish fight. Those are brothers' children. Okay? That's Ishmael and Israel. That's their two descendants, two brothers. Different mamas, same daddy, Abraham. I can't see America spending billions of dollars in a fight that's been going on for thousands of years and
But they
think
do.
we can resolve this. But that's how they jump over here in our business. That's why I brought this up now. That's how we jumping in other countries' business. Because we want what's beneath their earth. We want their oil. We want their treasures. So now, Mr. Waldo, our country have been bledded for its riches, so they don't care about here.
Exactly.
They put the companies away from here to keep the blacks after integration from getting a job to have a decent income. So they brought it to Malaysia, China, Japan, Thailand,
You thank Richard Nixon for that.
Ukraine to keep the black man poor so they can run them out of here.
You can thank Richard Nixon for that part.
The same thing you and I was talking about earlier, Mr. Waldo, when we were talking about the 1924 Act.
Mm.
When you start looking at it, the act moved from where you were talking about with Indian community in Oklahoma, and it jumped straight to immigrants. It's an immigrant bill. So we don't talk in our history book that the Indians in Oklahoma was considered immigrants because they was in another country.
Yep.
And they were brought in here as immigrants. Wow, immigrants. So the immigrants came in and the Indians became under the definition as freedmen, as if they was the slaves of the immigrant.
Wait a minute, hold on. Because they came in as freedmen, then they were changed in the Article 2 Africans.
Y'all hear that?
See, this is where the problem comes in when you get to Oklahoma, is that Article 2. Because
Tell us
Article
about
2,
tell us about Article 2.
Article 2 says basically that Africans had no interest in the land, but they was allowed to live on the land under the rules that the Indians specified.
So how we get Tulsa, Oklahoma being Black Wall Street?
Mm. Boy, now you can start talking. Because see, now we going into the land allotments.
Talk to me.
Because what made Tulsa the Black Wall Street at that time, because there were several. You also had Boley in Oklahoma too. But that was oil money. Turned Tulsa into the oil capital of the world. But that oil come out up under the allotments that was given to the freedmen.
Okay, the young lady that became the richest Indian, that was a young child, that
Mm-hmm.
ended up going to Tuskegee University. Give me my cigarettes, please. Um,
Under the,
this getting good. I need cigarettes. Come from um, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the oil. That's those allotments. See, why they gave out the allotments? Because see, this is where we go back to Article 2 again. Because we got to figure out who these Article 2 Africans is. Because I know they didn't get an allotment. They on the rejected roll of the 5 tribes.
Okay.
Now,
So we
this
gotta
woman,
check and see what tornado hit right there.
yeah, well, I can tell you what tornado hit right here, and it was an illegal tornado. That was the Dodge Commission.
Ooh.
That was never set up to have anything to do with Oklahoma. The Dawes Commission was for the other 39 tribes you see here.
The ones they brought in from other places that was not a
That's
part of the
right.
5 civilized tribes,
That's
correct?
right. The 5 tribes was supposed to be protected from the Dawes Commission.
Because they went in under the Dancing Rabbit Treaty,
Oh,
the
no, they
Creek
lost that.
Treaty.
Now, see, We into two different periods because Dancing Rabbit Creek was before the Civil War.
That's correct.
The 1866 is after the Civil War.
Come on.
They lost the Dancing Rabbit Creek when they sided with the Confederacy.
Thank you.
Now we got to figure out who are these people over here.
The same Confederates that was down here, like
Yep.
Pike and
Yep.
all of them. John Slidell.
You know, Pike was instrumental in getting the 5 tribes to agree to fight with the Confederacy. But all members of the 5 tribes didn't go for that game.
So the ones that fought lost their right covered under the Dancing Rabbit Treaty.
That's right. And the ones that had to get pushed out their land in the southern Kansas, they got the 1866.
Now, the Dancing Rabbit Treaty says this. Y'all excuse the cough. I slept under the fan. And then we got pollen here. So y'all got to excuse the cough. But listen to this. The Dancing Rabbit Treaty, I know it like you know the 1866. They don't understand that, do they? So on the Dancing Rabbit Treaty side, within the treaty, those they didn't have to go. Only person who went on the Trail of Tears is the Cherokee on the tail end.
Yep. They the only ones, if you go ask the Bureau of Indian Affairs, that actually had freedmen.
They the only one had freedmen. Thank you.
Now, nation was not a slave-owning tribe.
Correct.
They shouldn't have freedmen at all.
And the half-breed or the takeover Choctaws, like Folsom and them, they had slaves.
Yep.
Because they really was Europeans.
That's exactly right.
And they was military soldiers.
Exactly right.
So let me go back to a point though. It says those who went had a choice to go or stay. Just like our disaster plan still is today, a stay or go plan.
Mm-hmm.
So that stay or go ain't nothing new, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Ones that stayed was to be given land under the United States, just like the citizens of the United States.
300-something acres, wasn't it?
Some 3, some 640.
Yep.
It varies according to the size of your family.
Yep.
The adult head counts of your family, okay?
Yep.
But the children got half of whatever an adult got. And if it was grandchildren, they got a quarter. You see what I'm saying?
That sounds like allotment in Oklahoma.
So grandkids got a quarter, the children got a half, and the adults got a whole. Every adult. Now, when other people fighting, those who are foundational black, they're fighting about 40 acres and a mule. That's a whole nother story because we had land, and we supposedly be giving up some of us land here to acquire land in the next place. Now, just minus the Cherokee out. Because the Cherokee thought, they got in with the Europeans, thought they were going to be back here with their slaves and have more land to roam, and they butt got put out. That's why they cried. They got
They got all the way in Oklahoma because they thought they was beyond that.
They were more civilized than us. But anyway, my grandfather and them who didn't want to go, he fought for a provision called Article 14. Article 14 means you can stay, take dual citizenship, and become a citizen of the United States as well as your tribe. Those who went to Oklahoma did not want to be a part, from what I was told and taught. They did not want to take citizenship to the United States. Because they was promised if they went to Oklahoma, they didn't have to deal with United States laws. That was another trick, wasn't it?
That was a lie they told.
So we go as citizens in the 1800s, 1830. Mr. Waldo and them, the people in Oklahoma, don't become citizens until 1909.
1907.
1907? Well, it was finalized in 1909.
Yeah.
Ratified.
Ratified in 1909.
Ratified in 1909.
Started in 1907.
Now, do y'all see that? Okay.
That's when the Indians in Oklahoma supposedly
rewrote their charter. And they wrote their charter.
Well, wait a minute, because here's a problem with that. Because if you go back and look, when the Dawes Commission was doing allotments, I guess that works out the same way. Because they said when you took the allotment, you also took United States citizenship.
That's what it was. Because when we got it here, you were taking citizenship. And you had to, listen, that's why it took y'all from 7 to 9.
Yep.
With us, you have to show that you, now this after the agreement, you have to prove you stayed there for 5 years before you even got that piece of paper.
You sure did.
5 years.
But you had to prove that you was in Oklahoma at least by 1865.
Y'all see, y'all getting where we at over here?
Yeah, because you had to be in the state for at least a year.
All right. So that were all of this stuff that they had to go through. All people went through all of that stuff. For then for the railroad to come.
Yep.
Railroad
First thing,
come.
first thing came in Oklahoma was railroads.
So now here come the Confederates.
State men.
So
See,
then they could
you
stake claim.
got yeah.
They stake claim. First they come right through your villages and they
Yep.
stake claim to your land.
They marry your woman.
There's a law back then that said a white man could marry an Indian woman and have inheritance of the land.
Yep.
But no other man could inherit the woman's land of no other race, only the white man. That's
Yep.
restoration do right there. That was a trick for the white man, just like now he done tricked. See, I'm showing you these tricks. Now he a doggone woman.
Mm.
And he got a law to protect him as a woman. See, the white man's smart. When he get himself in the door, then he put a law there so you can't say nothing.
Yep. And that's just what they did too.
So I'm gonna speed up on another piece. I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna deviate a little bit back to something else I deviated from. So the white man couldn't make himself a minority. So they sit down and figure out if we can get a black man that don't connect to this land, he's not foundational, part of us. You know, like they said about the Creole, we're gonna make Creole so they be part of us. So they get part them with our color. We were so anxious to see a change, they knew we were voting large numbers. And we did.
And they thought that was going to happen again.
No, it happened 2 times. Tricked me once, not twice. So, and I'm so proud to see so many people saying, trick me once, not twice. We know that one already. Um, the white man only thing I see benefited out of that election, because nothing happened for the black folks, but hope. All we got was hope. So let's
Now,
say,
I don't want to give you joy.
I don't want joy. We had hope first. They can keep their joy.
Well, they gave you hope the first time. Now they're going to give you some joy.
They can
They ain't
keep
going to give you
joy.
nothing else.
They can keep joy. Joy
Yeah.
gonna trick us. So now let's say now we at this phase, and the only thing happened was a white man now was smart enough because he couldn't do it. It would have violated the Civil Rights Bill. It would have violated a lot of stuff, and it would have caused a mass ruckus across the United States. If a white man would have made a law saying that he now is a minority and he can be a woman and
Well, now they get
self-identify.
pregnant now. They did that when they became Indians too,
Yeah,
didn't
they self-identified. As I'm telling you, using the same script a little bit.
they? Yep. Same
So
thing.
they self-identified as Indians. They became the Indians. Wrote a law, made us Negroes, coloreds,
Yep.
blacks, and everything else. So now they done infiltrated using Obama to light up the White House and give it over to him. So we can't blame the white man because the white man did not do that.
Mm.
Obama did that. That's what they did. He didn't even see he was being set up. I didn't see he was being set up till now.
Mm.
Till now.
Well, you got to keep one thing in mind, other than there ain't no new friend, is that your oppressor is going to always look like you.
So now they mad because we see the clear picture.
Mm-hmm. They can be mad.
But this picture go back 500 years. Infiltrate, perpetrate, and take over.
Yep.
So I never thought the white man would have took over being a woman. Not that easy. But in 8 years, it was just like that.
Mm. And they're everywhere.
So here's where we at now. If they can overturn Roe versus Wade, they ought to can overturn whatever this is Obama did. They need to get this concrete slab that done fell on top of us through this new disaster. That was a tornado. A strong tornado, a big tornado.
Mm.
So
Tornado.
this political battle we going through right now is not the first time around on this dance, okay? This is what's the strange thing. what is the outcome going to be? Because now they have divided the black community. They have divided the Democratic Party. They can't blame Trump because Trump wasn't a politician even when this started. So people are going to have to start taking blame for what they have done to bring damage to the communities. And the healing after this is going to be, this election going to have a healing about as bad as the storm that left from the Gulf of Mexico and walked its way up to South Carolina. Okay? So I'm not trying to tell nobody how to vote. I know how I'm going to vote. But I am telling people stop letting elections put them deeper into the water. I even used a slogan Laura saying the other day. She said, Mama, it's like we caught between fire on one side and water on the other.
Yep.
I said, well, if that's the fact, fire consume you in water, you might take a chance. You might float. Somebody might pick you up. So that's our description, and I'm going to close after this because I'm going to do a show tonight, and I will use this here as soon as Sharon's give me a copy, and I'll play that tonight, but we're going to upload that one. I'm not going to edit it, okay? We'll put it on video. But I do want to say this. You stand a chance of swimming or floating on a log. When you're in the fire, you don't stand a chance to get out. So I'm going to close with some of the words that I was told was some of Dr. King's last words. He had evacuated his people into a burning house. No one can answer that burning house because he's not here. Harry Belafonte assumed it was the Democratic Party and said we needed to find us a party. I'm saying both parties have racists and bigots and liars and connivers. I'm saying we don't need a new party. We need to unify under real purposes and deal with what happened who have not been taken care of in foundational black and what can fix back some of the stuff with the American Indians so that we can move forward as a people in this country. It's going to be hard for us to move as a people because we keep bringing new people in. And I said the 1824 Act is about immigrants. The 1924.
Yeah, 1924.
Now we go back to 1812 battle was about immigrants. So are we going to just keep doing these every so many year immigrant naturalization, takeover, and we haven't taken care of the foundation? The foundation is weak, and it's going to always come to the point of destruction, just like it's doing in this election. When you try to put something where it don't belong, foundational black don't want no one given to them. And we as the natives of this country, not immigrants, we tired of them giving us Native Americans who got they native either through naturalization or immigration acts, okay? So I challenge everybody, do your genealogy. See where do you fit. And they had a song say, if it don't fit, don't force it. That was back in my younger days.
That was a good song, too.
So if it don't fit, don't force it is where it's at. I'm going to close on this, but I think this is a good talk for us today, you and I. Bridging the gap between Oklahoma removal, and now they're trying to remove the artifacts from the Gulf Coast and take that to Oklahoma, where they done built a museum.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
And people don't realize those people got recognized under reorganization, like on one of my videos say, under Nixon in the 1970s.
Indian
So how can someone who haven't shown us how they get that heritage, that lineage, to be able to be entitled to remove Indian stuff from the Gulf Coast and bring it to Oklahoma? Now that's an Indian removal number 2.
That's a painful one too, ain't it?
So I want to say this on this day. It's not going to be as easy as it was in the past. Because thank God to social media, we got eyes on it.
Some of y'all get social media. I just get kicked off.
He said he get kicked off. He got kicked off today. Well, we're going to protect the channel that we have until they kick it off.
Mm.
And when they kick it off, we're going to go and call Elon Musk
Starlinkers. Yeah.
and tell him we need to move over there
Yeah,
where
Starlinkers.
you still have freedom of speech, which is supposed to be part of the Constitution, but certain people in America can say what they want and other people can't. So
Ain't that?
God has blessed us. We're just going on over to Elon Musk. I don't know Elon Musk, but I'll find him. I will find Elon Musk. I'll be on the internet. I'll have everybody I know saying Chief Warhorse is looking for Elon Musk. I don't want none of your money. Look, I don't want none of your money. I just want access to do what I do best, talk. And since he believes in that, I'm sure he'll grant us that. Because social media ain't fixing to go nowhere. As we speak, they got people developing other ways for us to get out there besides being censorshiped. Okay? I understand being censored if you doing something to destroy somebody or trying to cause a war. But I don't see being censored because you tell the truth. So they don't want you to say in God we trust, but they got their money, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
They don't call that a problem. They're trying to get more of that in God we trust. And they like each one of them numbers to get bigger and bigger. Obama and them in God we trust till they rich. And Trump in God we trust till he rich. They don't want the poor working class to have a voice, nor some of that in God we trust. Okay?
Yep.
But bills are raising up higher. Right now I'm looking at middle income people and down. There'll be a meeting tomorrow in St. Tammany Parish because the price hiked on insurance for your house and your car, where your insurance for your car is more than your car note. Your insurance for your house bigger than your house note. And I have not heard anyone in this campaign on either side say this is a part of their issue. Their issue is letters and numbers, abortion, that's killing. The Bible says, that's why they don't want them 10 commandments, thou shalt not kill. Abortions, and a man trying to be a woman and a woman trying to be a man, and then they say 100 and some other ones. I don't know how you get 100 and some genders. But I know in the Bible it say he created man and woman.
And
And now they don't want you to say that. So if we don't stand up in America, those who are hearing the sound of my voice, you're going to be in the same shape the tribes are in, trying to find a paper to prove who you are as a woman or a man and your identity, because identity and gender is under attack. Can we close on that?
mm-hmm.